Cowboy Wisdom Hypno-Acuity is wisdom energizing, fun opening personal expansion. Expands you out of yesterday, energizing today. Enterprising your dreams to experience your now connected desired life. And now here's your host, Robert A. Wilson.
Good afternoon, it's Rob with Cowboy Wisdom with Rob Wilson. Today my guest is Pura Regalado, which means pure gift. And Pura's mother was born on Christmas Day, 1922. Pura was born 22 years later in 1944. She's the second child, the second daughter born on the second hour of the second day of the second month. While the Second World War was raging, Jesus told her that these are all God-given signs of his second coming. The repeated pattern of the number 2 came over and over, and I know it will keep going on until I successfully carry out God's given task. As I got my BS in architectural degree when I was 22 years old, 2 years later I passed the board exam to become a licensed architect. Jesus said that the sign that will be given to an evil and adulterous generation is a sign of Genoa. I survived the sign of Genoa. Jonah, which the full recount of the ordeal I wrote in my book, Pure Gift, the second. Pure Gift is in English for Pura Regalado, the name I was baptized with. I now have many more signs from God, but I now know you always want my emails. No, you want my emails short because she's got a lot to tell you. And anyway, without any further ado, let's introduce Pura Regalado, the pure gift to the world. Explain to the world what the second coming and everything your God's task you present to the world.
When my task was given to me, the Bible opened by itself to pages that has the message that God wanted me to read. And the text floated out of the pages and was magnified 100-fold. And I saw visions of what they meant. One of them was when Jesus was nailed to the cross and was laid on his burial shroud. I saw how every atom in his body converted into pure energy, and the process of matter turning into pure energy generated the heat that burnt his image on his shroud. Experts concluded that no coloring pigment was used to produce that image on his burial shroud, and they concluded that the image was burnt in the fabric, which confirms what I saw, the visions that I saw. And then at the same time, I was told that our universe is continuously expanding because of all intelligent beings from all over our universe who had reached the perfection of Jesus, had transformed into pure energy and had become one with God in eternal life. And that is the ultimate purpose of our lives. And we know that nobody has become like Jesus yet. And because Jesus said, you need to be born again to reach the kingdom of heaven. And when he said that, he was confirming the Buddhist belief in reincarnation, that if we deserve life, if we are worthy of life, our soul will be born again to continue seeking for perfection until we reach that ultimate purpose of life. And God showed me these visions that an irredeemable sinner's soul becomes the Higgs boson particle that is responsible for the creation of physical matter. And I saw this happening in the magma chamber of earth that oozes out as lava, which is called the lake of fire in the Bible. Lava turns to rock, rock erodes to dust, the dirt of the earth. No more thinking, no more reasoning, dead forever. So we intelligent beings has these choices to be good. I aim for perfection. Jesus said you need to be perfect, aim for perfection to become like Jesus. That's why Jesus said, come follow me and become pure energy to be one with God in eternal life, or be evil and you die. It's called the second death in the Bible, when your soul dies to become the dirt of the earth.
Okay, do you
And,
feel, or go ahead.
well, you see, Jesus also, see the seventh church, this letter to the seven churches in the Revelation, he showed me which churches those are. And one of them is the Church of Ephesus. Is that how you pronounce it? And it says that you have left your first love, and their first love is the search for the truth. And then they are preaching that you don't need to be perfect because the blood of Jesus saved you already, which is blasphemy. Jesus said you need to be perfect. And now, I to convince me that I am really the messenger of God for our century, for our generation. God showed me all my signs. I wasn't aware of them. In fact, it was because of the text in the Bible floating out and showing me images that I learned that I was born with all these signs. Jesus said, for she shall come from the uttermost part of the earth and shall condemn them. And I came from the Philippines, which is an uttermost place from where Jesus was born when he walked on earth. And I was given the task of condemning all false gods and false beliefs that are the root cause of all hatred, conflict, and wars on earth in our generation. And aside from the numbers, and then there was also Jesus said in one of these are the words that floated out of the Bible. I wasn't a Bible reader because I was brought up Catholic in the Philippines at the time when the church did not encourage reading the Bible. All I knew were the Gospels of Jesus being said in sermons during the Mass. Well, in one of these texts that floated out, it says, you will come by one bearing a pitcher of water. Enter the house he enters in. And it told me that I am an Aquarian, the water bearer. And Jesus is bidding you to believe what I'm saying.
So anyway, you said something I really want you to expand on.
Okay.
Universe is always expanding. Do you think
Yeah.
that is enlightenment of the energy of God opening our eyes to the new paths
I
of life?
believe so. I believe so. Yes. Because no, even science cannot explain why our universe is continuously expanding. And they have this thing they call the dark energy, that it's everywhere. And I believe that God is everywhere. We are moving in the realms of God. And God does not need to test us because he knows what's in our mind. God gave us the guide, the commandments to follow, to be perfect and to become one with him up in the universe. And if we violate any of the commandments, we are going to physically die. But if we're not so evil, we get born again and we can continue seeking for perfection. Actually, the commandments, all boil down to do not kill. Because if you violate any of the commandment, it causes conflicts and emotional distress that makes the body produce death agents or free radicals that attacks our immune system, making us susceptible to diseases that can kill. Therefore, any of all the commandments boil down to that commandment: do not kill. And that includes abortion, because abortion diminishes respect for life, which in the collective unconscious eases the guilt in the act of killing. Look, people, with what God showed me, I see that abortion is connected to senseless killings. We see so many senseless killings today because people think that they can just do sex, and if they get pregnant, they can kill their babies. No, it's life. You are denying somebody from reincarnating. And it is the act of killing human life, even if it is unborn, diminished respect for life, and that is boosting the negative dynamic archetype that is created in our collective unconscious. I'm now discussing Dr. Jung's theory of the collective unconscious, which, see, this negative dynamic archetype is boosting the energy of Satan. You see, Satan is a natural force in our universe that aim to turn energy into physical matter. That's why he is anti-life, because life, the purpose is to make matter into pure energy, whereas his aim is to create physical matter. And I believe that all these religions that require human sacrifice were created by Satan. He's the God who manifested and created this religion that require human sacrifice because it will kill the soul. See? And God showed me that the God who told Abraham to kill his son as sacrifice. And that in the Genesis is on, I think, chapter 22, verse 2. And it was written that God was telling Abraham kill his son as a burnt offering. It even has the pattern of the two. Way back 2,000 years ago, or 5,000 years ago when it was written, God is already telling us that is not right. And also, there is a God in the Deuteronomy who told the children of Israel to kill everything that breathes in the land of your inheritance. And God told me that that's also Satan in disguise. And created by the collective unconscious of the children of Israel, who believed that they were the chosen people. And they wiped out 6 tribes. They committed genocide. They killed babies, the elderly, the animals, everything. And God told me that what you do unto others shall be done unto you. And look what happened to the children of Israel. The Babylonians, the Romans, the Nazis wants to wipe them out too. And to this day, Iran wants to erase the map of Israel from our world map. I believe that it's because they have not admitted yet that the God who told them to kill everything that breathes in the land of your inheritance was not the true God. God told me that was not him. God told me he will never contradict his law. Do not kill. See?
Yeah.
And
And also, you said something in there about disrespect. How is the disrespect for one another in this world still creating the chaos of what you're talking about?
Well, one of the commandments say, do not covet thy neighbor's goods. That is really meaning we should respect each other's feelings. We should not say something like insult somebody to make you feel better. That is a violation to the commandment.
Go ahead.
Yes.
But the thoughts of the universe,
Yeah.
how are they, if they're collectively negative, or let's say brooding?
Okay.
I've learned brooding over negative. Brooding,
What?
and rather than inspirational, how does the brooding actually create the havoc of the world?
You're talking about our thoughts. Our thoughts are energies that do not dissipate into nothing. And I was shown that image of energies coming out for the brain of every individual and then coming together. And negative thoughts, superstitions, thoughts of destructive thoughts of killing, they become then what Dr. Jung called the negative dynamic archetype. And this negative dynamic archetype pushes the energy of Satan. And it can control or possess people of low morals and people that are mentally impaired to do evil deeds, like senseless killings. That's why we have so much senseless killings today. And you know, another thing that I notice is because look at all our entertainments today. They are all violence, wars. And the people doesn't think that this is affecting our collective unconscious, but it is. We are so focused on violence instead of the beauty of nature, the goodness of humanity. Every movie that are being produced today, they are all violent movies. And even the games, the video games, even little children are being desensitized in the act of killing with their video games. They control somebody with a weapon of mass destruction and then shoot at all their foe. And you've heard stories about a little boy who took the gun of his mom and shoot his babysitter just because he was playing. You see, it affects even the little ones. And look at what happened at Sandy Hook Elementary School. See, this Adam Lanza. I believe. See, the law do not kill. It means do not kill anybody, because if you kill a convicted killer, you give him the chance to reincarnate. And I believe that Adam Lanza is one of a previous convicted killer who was executed and was given the chance to be born again to commit more murders. See, that's why even criminals should be allowed to live. Let them die the normal way. Do not let's take away all these death penalties, because we produce little kids born to be killers. Because the criminals that are executed, they are given the chance to be born again, and they will be born again to kill.
How does society teach revenge and envy and allow that to control people's thinking mind, do you believe?
Will you say that again, please?
How does the society teach revenge and envy and let that control people's lives. We think we have to get revenge rather than learn from the situation.
See that revenge and envy, they are negative emotions. And when you allow yourself to uh, to have these negative emotions control you, you are the loser because your body produces the death agents, the free radicals that will attack your own immune system. See, that's why Jesus said, "Forgive, turn your other cheek, love your enemy." It's because that's how you control your stresses. If you allow anybody to upset you, you are the loser. Your body produces the free radicals that will attack your immune system. See, that's why Jesus already told us how to control our emotions. Everything, if you know, I followed every word of Jesus and I reached God. And
How
I'm always getting the compliment that I don't look my age. I'm
Jeez,
78 years old, and it's because I believe it's because of the words of Jesus. My stress management. I don't like to allow myself to get upset because I know that it will cause my aging.
but how does revenge create the animosity in the world? Look at what's going on with Ukraine and Russia right now. That's nothing but revenge and envy on 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 somebody's side.
Well, it, Putin, President Putin, has this. I think he's an egomaniac. He he wants to prove to the Russians that he can create another the original Soviet Union. I think that's what his motives is. And that's why he's trying to get Ukraine back to the fold. And he's going against the will of the Ukrainians. And he's killing. Therefore, he is violating the law of God. He is in danger. His soul is in danger of becoming Higgs boson particle. You know, I wrote to him about this. I told him that you are going against the will of the Ukrainian people, and you are creating situations where people are getting killed, and that is not good for him personally. He is in
You
danger of becoming Higgs boson particle. When he dies, he's he will meet his second death, the death of his soul, and he'll be dead forever.
And here, I also want you got a book came out, The Second Coming of Christ. Would you tell people what our second coming of Jesus? Tell people what that book's about and how it enlightened their
It's
life.
all about what I'm talking right now. You see, my I wrote my book, Pure Gift, the second, when at the time when I was still too bashful to claim that I am I am the bringer of the message of the second coming of Jesus. That's why I couldn't. I said pure gift. The second actually is it, the second was supposed to be the second coming of Jesus, but I couldn't continue it because Jesus was also called pure gift. So I'm just the second pure gift, and it has been ignored. It's not going anywhere, and so I wrote the second coming of Jesus. This time I am claiming that Jesus appeared to me, and I'm ready. When I wrote Pure Gift, I was still too shy. I'm no longer scared. In fact, all this I posted this on Facebook, but at the start I was boosting my Facebook pages at my own expense. In fact, I got comments like you are advertising this page. And I said yes, I'm spending my own hard-earned money to let you know the message of the second coming of Jesus. And then after a while, Facebook forbade me from boosting my pages. So then I decided I'm getting a lot of friend requests on Facebook. So I started accepting all these friend requests, and I'm sending them the message of the second coming of Jesus. And you know what? I got death threats from some who are uh, offended when I said that the false prophet is leading them to break God's law, do not kill.
You
See,
know,
that is another one of the message of Jesus. He unveiled to me the identity of the false prophet, who's who's leading his people to kill, and therefore death of their souls. And they don't like my message. I'm sorry. I At this age now, I must carry out my task. I don't care anymore. If they kill me, then maybe my message will come out. Because Christianity became the power that it has become because of the crucifixion of Jesus. As soon as somebody even texted me my address in Florida. I don't know how he found out about that, because my legal name is my husband's last name, not Pura Regalado. Pura Regalado is my maiden name. I'm married, and legally I'm using my husband's last name, but I don't want him implicated in this task because I know it is dangerous. So as soon as I got this death threat, I went to the police department and I gave them a manuscript of my postings at the face on Facebook. I told them, in case I get murdered, you know why.
people are so cynical these days. If you ain't inside their opinions, viewpoints, beliefs, and all that, they get very offended. But how do you feel the second coming of Jesus will open people's heart and brain and their whole body to liberation?
Well, I tried, but all organized religions will not accept what I'm saying. And in fact, I spoke to a pastor, and he told me, if you cannot accept that the Bible is 100% the words of God, and if you cannot accept that Jesus is God, you cannot enter my church. And that's exactly what Jesus told me. Jesus told me, do not worship me, worship God in heaven. If we worship, Christians worship Jesus as God, because when the Romans embraced Christianity, they propagated a belief system that is intertwined with the pagan Roman worship rituals. And they did not believe in reincarnation. So they interpreted the words of Jesus, you need to be born again, as to convert to Christianity. Jesus didn't say convert. Jesus said you need to be born again. And also, these images have been coming to me even while I was in high school. But of course, at that time, I was taking up my history classes, and when it came to the Romans, I saw the vision of Jupiter being knocked out of his throne and then being replaced by Jesus with a crown of gold. At that time, when I was in high school, I didn't, what was that? And so it was a vision I saw. And now I'm looking back and in retrospect, that's exactly what the Romans did. They turned Jesus into a deity.
And we're
And
down to
Jesus,
1 minute to go. I want you to give them some people the wisdom of the second coming of Jesus, and I'll close out the show.
well, it's important that everybody would, that the message of the second coming of Jesus is to eradicate all false beliefs that are the root cause of conflicts, hatred, and wars on earth. And if we can eradicate all these false beliefs and false gods, we will reach the long awaited peace on earth. We will have paradise right here on earth.
And thank you, Pura, for being here and enlightening people with the second coming of Jesus. And I am Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom with Rob Wilson. And everybody, I'm going to say goodbye. Everybody enjoy their week. And thank you, Pura, for being here.
I hope people will believe me.
Thank you.